Welcome to Building the Future. I'm your host, Kevin Horick. You can check out new episodes of the show every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. If you missed an episode or want to get more information about the show, please visit buildingthefutureshow.com. I'm also going to be at the Business Rocks Tech, Music, and Investment Summit recording shows live in Manchester, England, April 21st and 22nd, where Steve Wozniak is headlining. More information about the summit is on the show website at buildingthefutureshow.com. Welcome back to the show. Today we have Alon Melchner, president of Waking App. Alon, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be with you.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
What you guys are doing is kind of very cool in kind of the VR space. And for people that don't know what VR stands for, it's kind of virtual reality. And I know there's been a bunch of articles recently that kind of came out that they're predicting virtual reality is going to be kind of the future of, video gaming and television and kind of movies and even advertising and whatnot. But kind of maybe before we get into that, let's kind of get to know you a little bit better and kind of cover your background.
Okay. Actually, my background is I was always an entrepreneur, I guess.
Okay.
And my professional background was creative that was combined with strategy and understanding of marketing. And I kind of combined it. I started one of the first digital agencies in Israel, and I think it was kind of one of the first in the world, maybe in 1996.
So you're born and raised in Israel then?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so what did you kind of take in university or post-secondary education?
Oh, so my education is art, actually, and I'm kind of a designer, and this was my, I think my only work after the military. So I worked for 2 years, I managed a studio for design.
Okay.
And I always like to do things, and I created a kind of a edutainment software. I don't know if you remember Director.
Yeah, totally. I remember that. Yeah.
So I was one of the first working with Director, and I created some edutainment for kids learn the alphabet and thing, and a big agency in Israel saw it and looked for someone who can do multimedia, and we created, I think, one of the first multimedia department inside an agency. It was actually Publicis in Israel.
Very cool.
And immediately after that, I started my own company as a digital agency. It's kind of funny because, I was going to exhibitions and, when you saw IT companies that the internet only started then, and they were doing a Wheel of Fortune from cardboard.
Oh, interesting.
Inside the iTech, and I told them, look, you're joking, you are representing the iTech. How we are working with cardboard. So I designed games on big screens for them, and kind of the first interactive promotions activities, and then how everything started. So I was always inventing, I think. I didn't think startup, actually, in the beginning. I was kind of service provider as an agency for, 70, 80 years.
Oh, wow.
But then I got tired of that, and I didn't want to do service anymore. And I had a newborn child. I think it was a year and a half or something. I always wanted to write books for kids.
Sure.
And so I wrote 2 or 3 books. I think they are good, but as an unknown, author, let's say, for kids,
sure.
I looked for an edge to add something to the books that it was physical books, the original books, and I looked for something to add to the books to have some kind of an edge, something unique.
Interesting.
And then I thought of combining digital with physical, and I found 2 developers, paid them something, and we started to explore. And I think I got into augmented reality by accident.
Okay.
But I did it a long time before most of the market did, and it evolved from there.
So you say you kind of got into it by accident. How did you kind of stumble into it?
I don't. You cannot define it exactly, but it's the idea of I came from the digital world, in
right.
the internet, and so I was thinking multimedia and games and activities and things like that, and I understood that kids love, mobile was already out.
Right.
It was like around 5 years ago. And I knew that kids, even 2 years old, like mobile devices and they like the physical books too. So I searched for a concept of how I can combine those two.
Okay.
And so when we developed this technology, I started to understand that I have something good in my hands. I have no money. And I went to my, to the market that I already know, advertisement.
Right.
And so I went to Nestle in Israel, for example, and I did a campaign for them, like an app, Augmented Reality app on a ketchup bottle,
Okay.
or the biggest newspaper, and, all kind of, I can tell you all about it if you want.
Sure.
So
No,
I
that'd
did
be
all
awesome.
kind of campaigns. Yeah, so I did all kind of apps, Augmented Reality apps campaigns, let's say, for them, and this was like kind of rolling with budgets, There was no competition. No one can compete, even if they wanted to.
Sure.
I told them, go ahead, look for someone who can do it. So it was a fun, year. And the idea was that, again, I didn't want to do services, kind of, or to be a service company.
Sure.
And I understand that I have a good technology in my hands. And then it was kind of transforming into the idea of let's create a platform. Let's transfer all this knowledge and technology into a platform. And let's enable others to do whatever I'm doing. Instead of me creating, let's say, 10 books a year, let's have millions of books potentially, And I think this is how it got to this position, to this point. I raised my first capital from a small VC in Israel. And after that, I told them in the beginning I don't want to be the CEO, so I gave up the seat and became the president. And now my partner Udi Shani is the CEO, and I have time to build more, to think of the vision, to build the strategy, and this is what I'm doing now.
So is that why you didn't want to be CEO, because you kind of wanted to focus on different things, or kind of why didn't you want to be CEO?
Because I'm more professional person and creative person. So I was the CEO for a lot of years, of course, in my previous company and now this. And I know how to do a lot of things, and it really doesn't work. You can do a lot of things, you can know a lot of things, but you need the right partners, the right employees, the right personnel to make something big.
Sure.
And I'm strong in selling. I'm strong in presenting what I'm doing. I'm strong in thinking and offering solutions. And I have my weaknesses. So I think when you grow up a bit, you acknowledge what you're strong with and what you are less. And I think this is the right combination. I search for someone who can fit. Like we are really take every one of us. Me and my partner takes different parts of the company's needs.
Sure.
And this is the best solution.
No,
so,
I think that makes really good sense, and I think that's kind of really good to kind of mention, because it does make sense that kind of part of being successful is knowing what you're good and bad at, right? And getting kind of somebody that can kind of complement your skill set, right? And I think that's really cool that you kind of, acknowledge that about yourself and found somebody to kind of complement so you guys can work together, right? And I think that's really cool.
Thank you. It is hard, sometimes you feel like it's your own baby, if you want, and,
sure.
and you have really something good, but it takes some time. Sometimes you need to try to evolve together and find a way to cooperate the right way, and you give up your power, let's say.
Sure.
In a way, but and I can really honestly say, just a few months ago, I really released my trying to empower my thoughts.
Sure.
And I automatically became. I'm doing the same thing, and I'm relating myself now as a consultant for the company, even though I'm working inside.
Right.
I'm consulting for everyone, and my thoughts are getting through even better. So it's an interesting psychological thing for, let's say, for an entrepreneur. It's a good tip, I think.
Sure. So maybe let's cover exactly kind of what is Waking App? Like, I know you kind of just covered why you kind of started it because it was kind of out of your own need, and you thought, well, let's get other people, give other people a platform to kind of create the same kind of things that I'm doing. But what exactly kind of is it?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh,
I
yeah,
lost
I
you there
lost
for
your
a
last
second.
sentence.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
say, so I guess just what exactly kind of is it? And how do I go about using it?
Okay, so I may add, one last thing regarding
Sure.
that, and it relates to the question. I'm relating myself to as an artist or creative person,
Sure.
who wants to create things. I think also, it's a matter of maturity in a way, and like releasing the power. I believe in I'm calling it the creativity of the crowd. Let's say,
Sure.
like playing with the words. 100 people can create much more than I can, both
Sure.
from the idea and the concept and where they'll take it. And this is what I'm excited about now, even more than what I can create myself. I'm very curious and excited about what others can create. So we basically created a brush or a tool or that will enable anyone who is not a developer. It doesn't need to have any development skills, or he doesn't need to write code or nothing. And he can create augmented reality and virtual reality he can invest 5 minutes or 10 minutes or a day, what otherwise would have taken weeks or months to do.
Right.
We have eliminated all the technical issues. He doesn't need to mess or think about three-dimensional engines or how to transfer it to virtual reality, augmented reality. It doesn't need to do nothing. Think about PowerPoint in a way that you just drag and drop things, save it, and then it's ready. It's working as an augmented reality or virtual reality experience. So this is what we have. We have a platform that we are calling it Entity.
Okay.
And Entity has two sides. Entity Creator is a web, a PC or Mac application that you download and install on your computer.
Right.
And to it, you can upload to the tool itself, to the application itself. You can upload the video files, pictures, sounds, or 3D models.
Okay.
And you can just drag and drop, place them. Like you should composite whatever you want. Is what you want to see in front of you in three-dimensional space. Everything is cloud-based, so everything you're doing is automatically saved on the cloud, and for that, it's available online. This is another kind of revolution that I'll explain later.
Sure.
But what you do is just place things, save it, publish it, and it's ready immediately online. And the way to view it is with the app. So we have an app that's called Entity with an I in the end.
Okay.
It's ENTITI. And with Entity, Entity is kind of a marketplace or a list of all the entities that were created, both for AR and VR. So anyone can view them or experience them. So the creator itself is for free. We are offering it now for free, so anyone will get in. We encourage people to create content, so we want them to go and start creating things, throw your imagination into it and share it with others. And this is what Entity is. Yep.
Sure. No, I think that's really cool. So do you maybe kind of want to talk about some kind of, I know you kind of mentioned it quickly, but do you want to kind of talk about some kind of successful kind of things that have been created with your tool, whether you did it or your users have kind of created?
I can. If I may, I will get into it in a second.
Sure.
Because what's more important is what you can do with that. I think,
Sure.
Even before that.
Okay. Sure.
Just to be honest, Entity was in the beta stages. It's still like public beta for now. We didn't want to do final release yet.
Sure.
And we have just launched it quietly for 2 months or so. Officially, we are going to launch it in Barcelona in the Mobile World Congress. That's next month, I think.
Okay. Awesome.
So there are around like 2,000 users already registered, creators that downloaded the app and created some content.
Right.
Some of the content is, very basic, some more advanced. We did something for, I don't know if you know, Adon magazine in New York. It's
Yeah.
a kind of fashion magazine for men. Paris Hilton was on the cover, and we
Okay.
created some like 3-4 pages for them
Okay.
with augmented reality on the cover of I think it was like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And there are more and more coming in, like agencies and designers and studios that are starting to create content for the clients.
Sure.
And this is what we encourage, actually. We think about it. You are a 3D artist. You could never have created something by yourself for VR,
Sure.
rather than maybe a 360-degree picture.
Right.
Now, you can just drag and drop your art that you have already created, throw it inside the platform. The platform itself, I didn't talk about it yet, but one of our patents with the platform is a logic system.
Okay.
The logic system enables you to, just by drag and drop, create very advanced interactivity. If you understand logic, you can even create mini games or maybe even more.
Oh, cool.
I'm not a developer. I created kind of a fighting game in 3D in VR,
That's very cool.
like magician and a warrior. And it's quite easy. It's a flow of logic. And, whatever you're doing by dragging like 5, 6, 10 objects of logic, otherwise would have taken like hundreds of lines of code for a developer. Now, the second coolest part, I think, and think about applications as a marketplace.
Sure.
Any application that you want to create, and especially for Apple, for iOS, you need to prepare it, develop it, compile it, send it to Apple, wait like 2 weeks until it's approved, right?
Yep.
And this is like a big pain. I was working with the biggest newspaper in Israel, or even some clients like Nestle. Think about it. The ketchup bottles were on the shelves in the supermarket.
Yep.
And we were kind of holding our hands, or our fingers, let's hope that Apple will approve the app in time.
Yeah, I've been there before
Now,
myself, so I totally get that pain and frustration.
Yeah, so this is the mobile world, actually, and augmented reality tailor-made applications where any developer will create an app for his client goes through this entire process. And think about the newspaper. We have created some cool art, really nice things. They have, like with celebrities in Israel and all kind of things, and the paper was ready to print.
Mm-hmm.
And we were waiting until like 12 o'clock until let's see if Apple approves it in the last day, and they had 2 versions of the newspaper. So it was crazy. They couldn't bring customers in because you need to plan a month or 2 ahead. Now, we solved all those pains. I told the newspapers, look, take the platform, create whatever you want. You can update it like 5 minutes before releasing the newspaper.
Okay.
Everything is live. Everything is cloud-based. This is like a revolution of the way you think about. I don't want to relate to application market, but let's relate to VR and AR.
Sure.
Because you can do things immediately, you can change things any time you want, and the second you save it, it's online.
Yeah.
This is a new way of relating to content for mobile world, let's say. And this is like the really big thing inside. And I'm telling agencies, for example, you don't have any excuses anymore.
Sure.
Think about it. To add a simple video on top of your head on your head on the newspaper takes and it's online.
Sure.
Now, if you want to create a mini game on it, so it will take another day. Let's exaggerate, for example.
Sure.
Okay. But the costs are gone because you don't need developers. You just need to invest in the art.
Right.
The time issues are gone. The availability is gone. There are no more tutors. So if you are not offering your clients upgrades of whatever you are doing for them, you are kind of, you're not doing what you should do for them.
Sure.
And if we stay in the advertising, for example, they all want engagement. Everyone wants engagement with the brand or with the product.
Totally.
If you take, I don't know, you have a budget of $100,000, let's say, to develop an app.
Sure.
You created a game, let's say. This game, I don't know, it can hold for a week or 2, then everyone will throw it away. You cannot create a game that will hold more than a few weeks without $100,000.
Sure.
Think differently. Take this $100,000, create a game every week.
Yeah, that's interesting.
with the same budget for I don't know, 3 or 6 months. And
Sure.
with the same budget, because this is how it costs now. So again, I hope I successfully transfer the message, but
No,
I really encourage everyone to start doing it, because now it's easy immediately. It doesn't cost much, and you know.
no, I think that's really good. I'm kind of curious though. As a user to like see these kind of things that I create with your tool, do I have to download like an app or something to my Android or iOS device, or
Sure,
how does it
sure,
work?
sure. Yeah, so again, you can find the app on iOS and Android. It's called Entity, Entiti. And when you open it, you'll see a list of promoted content.
Okay.
And you can also search for content, like, hitting keywords, and you find more content existing there. We have just won. There is the Games organization in Israel. It's the Digital Games organization in Israel, like with 300,000 members.
Okay.
We created the Christmas VR experience. That is quite cool.
Okay.
It's an example of how. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. So, okay, you created this Christmas experience. So, what did you guys kind of do? Like, do you want to just kind of talk about like what happens when I hold my device over
experience?
the Christmas experience? Yeah.
Okay, so again, there is one app that you download, Entity,
Yeah.
and within the same app, you have all the content that was created with the creator. Okay,
Yeah.
so the Christmas content for VR was some kind of a mini game, like
Okay.
it was a story. You are kind of a kid. You see yourself in a warm Christmas environment, like a room,
Okay.
living room,
Yeah.
with the fireplace burning and everything. So the graphics is quite nice. And the story is that you just arrange the entire house. Your parents are about to come in, and you want to surprise them. And suddenly you see elves coming and starting to ruin your house, like moving the furniture and dropping the tree and things like that. And you get into pressure, and you have like a minute to fix the house before the parents are coming. Just like gazing at all the bad things, and you fix them up. And if you do, like, it's a party with everyone dances with Christmas music. So it's a cool experience, activity, mini game, you may say. The art always takes time, so we invested in the art.
Sure.
But and even if you develop it the normal way, like with developers, you still need to invest in the art if you want good visualization. But the implementation of this product took 2 days.
Oh, wow.
I don't know of anyone who can do such an activity in 2 days, and it's online.
Sure.
The second we save it. Another experience that we created, and then I'll talk about others, is a kind of scary ride. In VR, there are lots of rides.
Yeah.
So we wanted to prove how easy it is to create a ride like that with Entity, with the same quality, even maybe more from some of them at least. And so it's kind of I know like a 2-minute ride, I think, in kind of scary dungeons and things like that. There are zombies coming, skeletons, ghosts, and at the last second we added the ability that you can shoot them actually, and because it was meant for cardboard-like devices that doesn't like they don't all the time have like clicking or shooting buttons.
Sure.
So it was done by gazing, only by gazing at the head of the monsters. You kind of shoot them.
Okay.
And it's a funny, scary, nice-looking activity. And again, implementation took like a day or two.
Sure.
I'm calling it implementation. It's kind of the other side of development. The development side took like a day or two. And this is like what's amazing about it. And again, there are more and more content coming. We are working with all kinds of educational institutes that we are trying to take VR, and you started with this subject of VR related to movies or games or entertainment. I wonder why there are not much reports or reviews or talking about what you can do with VR for other things, not necessarily entertainment and games. And we are kind of digging deep into all kinds of course, medical things and
Sure.
simulation that may be like another thing that is easy to think of. But education is a great place. And we are now working with different institutes now or network of high schools, for example, that they are trying to educate the students themselves to create content according to what the school is intended to teach. Think about how easy it is to put you inside of a battle
Sure.
or demonstrate how the bloodstream looks or whatever. Psychological things like experiences and therapy. So there are lots of ideas that we are trying to think of and trying to educate the market. So educating the market is fun, but it's hard. I know.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. So when I build content with your tool, can I publish to kind of any of the VR kind of headsets, or is that something you're thinking about doing, or how does that kind of work right now?
It's a great question. The moment you created something, it automatically created. You create it once,
Yeah.
and it's automatically transferred or transformed into all the devices that we support.
Okay.
We have been working with Samsung and on the Gear VR,
Yeah.
Oculus of course, and all the cardboard, all the simple devices that
Sure.
you can put your phone inside.
Yeah.
So we support them. We released a new version just now. So for the moment, like for the short time, it doesn't support VR and Oculus yet. But any content that was created even now or is created tomorrow, at the moment we open a new platform or a new device, it automatically works on that device.
Oh,
So
that's very
no
cool.
need to do anything else. Yeah. So think about how much content they can have, and this is another subject that I'm starting to transfer to, or to, tell those devices. Let's say, and let's separate the devices from head-mount devices and other technology related to VR. Okay.
Sure.
We really look at identity as an enabler. We
Sure.
intended and planned that this platform will be an enabler for VR. And, if someone wants to develop for Gear VR, it will not necessarily work on Sony, let's say, or some other device. So you will need to develop again and again and again for all those devices. We wanted to do something that you will do it once, it works on everything that we support. Now, those companies, though, those head-mounted devices, are aiming only to developers to create content. In a way, it's not so logical because VR and AR are kind of visual mediums, right?
Sure.
You need artists basically to create the content, but they cannot think about artists creating content by themselves because it's not possible until now.
Yeah. No.
And this is what we are saying. Okay, instead of going into, I don't know, you can find 100,000 developers, let's say, okay, that can potentially develop content for you. I'm saying take Entity and potentially go to 100 million potential creators to create content for them.
Sure. That's
So-
that's an interesting way of putting it for sure.
Yeah, so, and this is one thing. And from the other side, I was visiting CES. I was there like a week ago, I think,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
There were lots of VR companies. Everyone is related to technology, none to content. And in a way, it's a good place for us, But I was going like, all kind of joysticks and kind of gesture devices and 3D cameras that can recognize what you're doing. And some of them are really cool, and I really enjoyed like holding joysticks and you see your hands in the VR environment. And this is part of what should be and will be. The thing is that they have the same problem. They are aiming for developers that would like to learn how to implement their SDK and develop with it and do something.
Sure.
And I told them, look, I can take your SDK, implement it inside the platform, and now anyone can, take a 3D model of a car, connect just by drag and drop the joysticks into it, and from that point you control the car with the joystick, and it took him 5 minutes to do it.
Wow, that's awesome. So how much work is it for you guys
So
to kind of add a new platform or like headset?
yeah, okay. So it depends again, of course, on the technology that they
Sure.
created. Some of them are easier than others. We are considering and checking what is worth investing, like in a time, in a time to market and the limited time that we can, do all those things. Um, there is something that I think I'm telling you as one of the first, like really advertising it, but we have decided to really try to build some kind of an ecosystem that connects everyone.
Okay.
And this ecosystem, we are of course a company that wants to have income and profits and everything, but
Sure.
this is like, I think we took it like as a long-term goal and not immediate. This is why we released the platform for free and saying go and create content. But if someone is going to create content, and let's say he understood how to work with Entity Creator, he still needs to know how to work with 3D objects or with video files or to create something, other than what he is an expert in. So we are now encouraging artists and studios and whoever can create, assets and content to be part of this ecosystem in one way. So let's say you are a company that wants to create something, you can immediately find people who know how to work with the platform and offer you the solution. I really hope and think that new type of agencies can come out now.
Sure.
Like Flash came out to the market.
Totally.
And suddenly lots of companies came up with understanding Flash and offering the services of what Flash can do that others didn't have the time or the effort to learn how to work with that. So there can be new businesses opening. Let's say you are a 3D, there are lots of websites on the on the internet for offering you, like you can buy 3D models from them.
Yep.
As like you have pictures. So they are offering those 3D models to anyone who develop a game or needs something else, but now they have new markets opening for them, VR and AR. And
Sure.
I don't think like they aware of what or how impact they can have, or how big their part can be inside it, because they can offer lots of assets that they already have. I'm buying a car and immediately placing it, and I have an interactive car that I created myself, and I did it a lot of time as a non-developer and someone who doesn't know how to work with 3D Max, let's say.
Sure. No,
So,
that's really cool.
This yeah, thank you. So it's really, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm really excited about this place. I'm offering something that is totally win-win for everyone. It's not, I'm not like money-oriented, like at least, again, to be honest, in the short term, started, because I believe that if everyone will work together, and we are kind of in the middle of it, I can connect the joystick to end user, I can 3D object to artist, to the end client. We don't want to work. We don't want to like to work with the enterprises ourselves or to offer them services. Whenever some company asks us to do something, we immediately transfer them to a studio or an agency that already knows how to work with Entity, and we tell them, look, they will offer you the best job, and we will support you and help you and let you think and open your mind, but they'll do the job for you.
Sure.
So it's kind of a clean, like to be in a place that you really kind of trying in an honest way to help everyone grow this ecosystem of virtual and augmented reality. And I think it's the best place to be. So I'm kind of feeling fun and excited about it.
No, I think that's awesome. And I'm kind of curious, just as we're talking, how are you guys publishing anything kind of to the browser where I can, hold my phone in front of a web browser and get an experience?
But I didn't understand exactly what do you mean about the browser?
So can I say I build this like a little mini game with your tool, and then can I publish it online and then go to a URL or something and then hold my phone up and kind of interact with the browser in some way, or like a website?
Okay, so let's separate it. Let's see, because I have two answers,
Sure.
or two options of what I understood from you. If you want to interact with the browser as you aim your mobile device to the browser, and you have some augmented reality thing coming out or jumping out of the browser,
Yeah.
this is what you meant?
Yeah.
Sure. So, yeah. So let's give a short description of what augmented reality and virtual
Sure.
reality, if I may. Virtual reality, you are putting a headset on your face, and you are completely out of the real world. You are now in a different world, virtual world, and you experience things that happened there. Augmented reality is a way to add digital content, animation, videos, games, 3D models, whatever, put them on the real world.
Right.
And I think augmented reality will really grow or really become the main thing when we will be able to put content on top of the real world as part of the real world, like identifying the 3D environment, the real 3D environment. So I have a dinosaur. We can jump from the bed to the floor and on the table because we understand how things kind of look and feel inside the real environment. So for now, what we offer in augmented reality is kind of still based on two-dimensional images. So
Okay.
two-dimensional images are becoming kind of a tracking method for the camera, and by that they know where to aim or where to put object or build the content on. So it can be on a piece of paper, it can be on a book, it can be on a product, or it can be on the website.
Right.
So let's say you have a website that you want to sell furniture. It's like really, if you have the 3D model of your furniture, you can make the furniture come out of the screen. Really, if you know how to work, you can do it in 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. Because I know like there was a successful campaign, at least up in Canada, and I'm assuming at least North America and probably other parts of the world. IKEA had it where they had their yearly catalog or whatnot. And if you held your phone over, the different pages, like content would kind of pop out at you. And I've seen kind of other billboards and posters and other things kind of do that. And so I think, there's been a bunch of big successful brands, and you kind of mentioned a few earlier in the show that are kind of, I would say, starting to get into this whole space. And like you mentioned, that we're kind of early on in this whole evolution. And I know Oculus just launched public versions of their headset, and there's a bunch of others coming probably later this year. And so we're at the very beginning. So I think as the listener and as agencies and creative people, it makes a lot of sense to kind of jump in now and kind of get the head start on your competition and other people across the globe, because it's only going to get bigger. And I think over the next 3 to 5 to 10 years, you're going to start seeing it everywhere, and it's just going to be the norm. Would you agree with that statement?
Totally. I'm saying, I always like to be an early adopter and
Me
to
too.
have an edge on the market. So I'm calling, any agency, studio, whoever. I personally, and Waking Up for sure, will help you, guide you, take you for the first project and help you do it, and achieve something. And I have case studies. I didn't really tell you about everything, but
Sure.
when the World Cup was the World Cup, I think was a year and a half ago or something, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was running on television with the official channels, the satellite in Israel and Domino's Pizza. We had a unique channel on the television, officially. When you went to channel 19, you saw kind of an advertisement on the screen. You targeted your iPad or your tablet or mobile phone into the television, and you saw a soccer game on the television, but not like PlayStation, but even though it's 3D, it's from one direction.
Right.
Think about it. When it's in augmented reality, the television became kind of a window into the soccer court. So you can throw balls from your sofa into the goal.
Really?
Or inside the television. Really. Now,
That's awesome.
The second part was, I know, we have videos, you can look at it on YouTube. I think you can find videos of it. But the second part was that you won prizes, and the prizes were sponsored by Domino's Pizza, and you could see a pizza was coming out of the television into your living room. You could drop on it like the add-ons that you want, like tomatoes, onions, whatever.
Yeah.
And when you approve it, you really order from Domino's Pizza.
And they
With
show up
what
like,
we did with augmented reality.
and then the pizza gets delivered in 20 minutes or whatever, however long it takes.
Sure.
That's awesome.
And with the prices that you want from the soccer. So this was a cool experience. We did something with the cables also with famous celebrities that are actually, you look at them and they were kind of coming out of the television. Like the famous celebrity, she was like taking a foot out, a leg out of the television, like dropping out and coming out into the living room, and then you could take photos with her inside your house. So, there are crazy things.
Cool.
Think about washing machine. I don't know if you as a man also knows how to operate a washing machine.
Sure.
And so we don't generally, the man, But so it's easy, you just target the camera into on the washing machine. You can get step-by-step instruction. You can see the door open. It tells you open this, do this, and that's it. You have like step-by-step instruction of how to operate washing machine, coffee machine, whatever.
That's very cool, because then you don't have to search the web for a manual on devices anymore. You just load an app and point it at the actual device, and if the phone recognizes or tablet recognizes it and shows you immediately, that's awesome.
Now, I guess you know the problem with remote control. That you
Sure.
need to set the remote control to the television. Then, if you're looking at the website or on a picture, you need to go left and back to the remote, and then you forgot what button to click. Think how easy it is. You just point on the remote. You see the buttons highlighted step by step where you need to click on them. Now, for now, we are doing this the hard way. Like augmented reality is still not intuitive anymore because you need to hold the tablet or phone and direct it. But the future is here, and I'm kind of pitching and presenting in all kind of places, and I'm saying, look, my presentation actually I'm calling it reality check.
Sure.
Because I'm kind of shocking people to understand where they live. I don't think screens or television as they are will exist 10 years from now. I don't think so, really.
Interesting.
It's not logical. It's a waste of plastic, metal, and environmental waste, whatever,
Sure.
You can have it like in front of you. So we'll have all type of glasses, maybe, something inside your eye, I don't know. But you will see the world in double layers, the real and the digital, and this is like the present. This is not the science fiction. This is not nothing. It's going to be. Now, start creating. The world will be covered with digital layers everywhere in 5 to 10 years. I really believe in it. And I hope we will be a big part of it, because take it, you can do it now, It doesn't matter on what platform it will run. You can see it on a headset or AR glasses or HoloLens or whatever will come out. I'm saying people can do it now, everyone can do it now, and really, I'm kind of preaching into it. This is funny, but I really believe in it, and it can be good, No. You can do a lot of very effective things with that.
Oh, yeah, like 100% agree. And that's kind of why I wanted to have you on the show. I think like you guys are at the very kind of cutting edge of this stuff. And I thought it makes a lot of sense to have you on the show, especially because you're giving away your tool for free, right? And so there's kind of like, go ahead and try it. Have some fun with it. Be creative. And like you said, that, there's the people of the world can create a lot more cool and interesting content and experiences than just one person. So I think it's very cool that you kind of open source the tool for now and let people kind of play with it and build things and publish things to, a bunch of different mediums and devices. I think it's really cool.
Thank you, really. And again, I want, whoever wants to create something, where if you are a studio or agency and you want to be part of it, you will enjoy whatever publicity, I don't know, we will achieve, because we are really transferring everyone to the center of this ecosystem. So whoever comes as a potential client, you can be one of the first agencies or studios that can serve him.
Sure.
And you can enjoy the PR coming out of it and the innovation that's coming out of it. And we are adding more and more abilities and more, in I guess this year, more and more gadgets will come out that are related to this. So everyone will be together. It's like a really cool time to be in. And if you are smart enough and you're like angry, and innovative, you can start doing it now, and you will have the advantage. So again, just contact us, and we'll help you as much as possible. So
sure, no,
we are now building the full documentation. We are adding how to do like tutorials and video clips. It will be like growing number of educational tools, let's say, to help people create.
No, that's very cool, and we're out of time. So maybe in kind of closing, promote kind of where people can download the tool and kind of get started, and if you want to promote any personal kind of social media or company social media platforms, go ahead and do that.
Okay, so thank you. But so our website is wakingapp.com.
Okay. And I'll post it in the show notes as well.
Sorry?
I'll post it in the show notes as well, so people can go to buildingthefutureshow.com and they can...
I kind of lost you, sorry. I kind of lost the connection.
No, that's fine. I was just going to say I'll post it in the show notes as well, so people can actually just go to buildingthefutureshow.com and check out the episode and, click the links that you mentioned right now.
Yeah, and we have the Twitter, of course. You can look for Waking Up at Twitter or at LinkedIn and Facebook. And, of course, you can reach us by any means. We are answering quite fast, especially if you want to start doing things. We will really help you or even brainstorm with you what you can offer your clients. And it's exciting about that. I'm learning every day 10 new things that can be done with AR and VR.
Sure.
And I know nothing, really. I know nothing. It's like, this is what's exciting. You cannot, every client business knows his own pains.
Sure.
And if you just think correctly and you understand what those tools can do, you will find new cool things to solve those pains or to improve it. It can be just by engagement or giving information or, whatever. So, it's really exciting, and tools coming out, hardware is coming out, this year and next year. So again, as you said, I'm looking for people who want to be leaders and start now before everyone will do it. So.
Sure. No, that's awesome. Well, thanks again for being on the show, and I know it's kind of late for you in Israel, so I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to record and do the show. So we'll keep in touch, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much, Evan. I enjoyed it, and let's wake up the world together, as we say.
Totally. All right, man. Have a good one. We'll talk soon. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye. Thanks for listening to the show. The music for the show is done by Electric Mantra. You can check him out at electricmantra.com. Until next time, keep building the future.